Okay, let's be real. You're just trying to get something done around the house, right? But every single step feels like you're wading through mud. The knives are dull, the remote's gone missing, again. So, is it just a bad day? Or could it be something else entirely? Could you be living with a secret master of sabotage?
I mean, you know the feeling, right? You go to chop an onion and the knife is just useless. You try to have a simple conversation with your partner and somehow it spirals into a full-blown argument. Suddenly, whatever you were trying to do just stops for no good reason. It is so frustrating. It can honestly make your own home feel like this battlefield of tiny, infuriating little problems.
So, get this. What if I told you that the actual playbook for creating this exact kind of chaos was written way back in 1944 by spies? Seriously, this is the Simple Sabotage Field Manual. It's a real declassified document from the organization that eventually became the CIA, and it was literally designed to weaponize everyday annoyances.
All right, so what exactly is Simple Sabotage? According to the actual spies who wrote the book on it. Let's dive into this thing and see how these old-school tactics for messing with the enemy somehow perfectly describe what happens in our homes today. It's wild.
Okay, so here's the backstory. This manual came from the Office of Strategic Services, the OSS, right in the middle of World War II. And the whole point was to give regular people, average citizens living in enemy territory, a way to fight back, not with guns, but by using simple, everyday actions to just disrupt everything and bring down morale.
And that's really the core idea here. We're not talking about big, dramatic explosions or anything like that. No. It's all about, and I'm quoting here, innumerable simple acts that literally anyone could pull off. The whole goal was just to be this constant low-level annoyance, to create friction with a million tiny, frustrating actions. I don't know, does that sound familiar to anyone?
So the manual breaks this down into two main types of destruction. First, you've got the physical stuff, breaking things, messing with tools, causing delays. But then there's the psychological side, what the manual calls the human element. And let me tell you, this is where it gets really interesting when we start thinking about life at home.
All right, first up, the human element. This section is all about weaponizing, people. Using our own tendencies for social friction and, frankly, stupidity to bring any kind of teamwork to a dead stop.
The manual says the whole strategy is based on universal opportunities to basically just be a pain. Things like making bad decisions on purpose, getting a real non-cooperative attitude, and, here's the kicker, getting other people to act the same way.
And when you look at the specific tactics, wow, they tell you to create unpleasant situations, to bicker about unimportant things, to be surly and moody, and my absolute favorite tactic on the list, to display stupidity. This means pretending you don't get simple instructions, or misunderstanding what someone says, or conveniently forgetting to do something. I mean, come on.
So, I gotta ask you, does that sound like a top-secret spy tactic? Or does it sound exactly like that argument you had with your partner last week about whose turn it was to take out the trash? The line starts to get pretty blurry, doesn't it? Okay, let's move on to the physical sabotage, because this is just as relatable. The manual says a saboteur doesn't need any fancy gear. Quote, his arsenal is the kitchen shelf, the trash pile, his own usual kit of tools. Basically everything already in your house. And man, does it get specific. It tells would-be saboteurs to just let cutting tools grow dull, to leave saws just slightly twisted. The point isn't to totally destroy something, it's to make every single task just a little bit harder, a little more frustrating, a little less efficient.
Which, of course, brings up another one of those uncomfortable questions. Seriously, what's the real difference between a spy deliberately letting a tool get dull and a partner who just forgets to sharpen the kitchen knives for, 6 months? The result is exactly the same, right? You're still stuck there trying to chop an onion with what is basically a blunt object.
And some of this stuff is it's wonderfully weird. There's literally a step-by-step guide on how to clog a sewer system with a sponge. You soak it in a starch solution, you squeeze it into a hard little ball, let it dry, and then just flush it. It slowly expands back to its normal size in the pipes, causing a massive blockage down the line. It's kind of genius in a very, very petty way. Okay, so this all brings us to the big takeaway, the final point. What really is the difference between a World War II spy and a partner who is just really frustrating to live with? Well, it all boils down to one single crucial thing. See, the saboteur does it all on purpose. Their goal is chaos. Their goal is disruption.
The partner at home, well, we hope they're just acting out of carelessness, right? Or maybe it's that thing we talk about now, weaponized incompetence. But here's the thing that really matters. The intent is different, but the impact, the actual frustrating result, it's often exactly the same. So let's be super clear. The saboteur, the spy, they're doing it on purpose. They are following a playbook. Every dull knife, every pointless argument is a strategic move to undermine an enemy. The rest of us, though, we're just creating the same result completely by accident. We're not evil, we're just masters of accidental sabotage. We achieve the same level of frustration and inefficiency, not because we're malicious, but just because we're not thinking. And the outcome is exactly the same.
So the next time things at home just grind to a halt, the dishwasher is loaded in a way that defies physics, or you're late for work because the keys are somehow in the fridge, you just have to ask yourself, is this simple incompetence or is it simple sabotage? Makes you think, doesn't it?